wondered, do self-help books actually help? Because I know I have. So in today's video, we are going to be reading a few self-help books for the first time for me to determine if they're actually helpful. So I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty skeptical about self-help books, even though I've never really read one. And that's just because in my mind, my preconceived notion of them is that they're just a whole bunch of fluff, a whole bunch of frou-frou, a whole bunch of just BS. Okay, and so the three books that I am reading for this video, I feel like are just true self-help staples. So the first one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. This one just seems like anytime you ask someone for a self-help, I don't know why I can't say self-help. Just try to say it a couple times fast. It's hard, okay? Anytime people talk about self-help books, Atomic Habits gets brought up in the conversation. Atomic Habits is that girl for self-help, or so it seems. And then up next we have You Are Badass by Jen Sincero. Like, listen, if you haven't seen this book on Instagram, on your friend shelf, anywhere, then you're probably living under a rock. And then last but not least is Strength Finders 2.0 by Tom Rath. And so just a little bit more background on why I'm doing this video is because, yes, I'm trying to figure out if self-help books are actually helpful, but I'm like also just in a period of my life where I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm kind of coasting. What else could I be doing to like really live the life that I want to live, you know, and just accomplish some goals that I have on the horizon. You know, I'm about to be 30. Right, so it's just like, okay, going into year 30, like what do I really want my life to be, and like what do I want to work on? And so hopefully these books will be a good place to start, but we'll see. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and apologize if you can hear my dishwasher and my clothes washer in the background. I'm so sorry, but we're trying to get things done today. So I obviously have the physical copy of Atomic Habits, but as I'm just like getting stuff done today, you know, I started my day with a little hot girl walk to go get some coffee. I've been listening to the audiobook. Also, I've just been getting stuff done around the house, hence the dishwasher and the clothes washer. But I'm really enjoying it so far. You know, James Clear is giving us some like background information on, you know, the psychology of habits and how their positive ones are formed, how negative ones can be broken, and just how like little small habits can change the way that you like view yourself and like the type of person you are, and how small habits can change into like a big result at the end. I'm trying to like actually do some of the like small exercises that they had us do. So one exercise was to like write down your daily habits and just put down like, is this a neutral habit? Is it a positive habit? Is it a negative habit? And not to necessarily change them yet, but just to get an idea of like, what do you do during your day that could possibly be better, or, you know, things that you're already doing that you should continue doing. So I did that just so I could just feel like I'm getting the most out of this read. The audiobook isn't that, woo, almost died. So the audiobook isn't that long. So I'm gonna try to continue to listen to that as I like get stuff done today. Okay, this is not a great angle, but we're gonna work with it anyway. So I'm sure you guys are wondering, Bria, why the heck did you just film a montage of yourself pouring yourself a glass of water? And the reason is because of this book right here. And surprisingly, I actually really liked it. Okay, someone else is also thirsty, so hold please. She's really going for it. Drink it up, girl. Drink it up. So it's gonna come as a surprise to me, maybe not you, but I'm giving this book 5 stars. You know, this title says, Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. an easy and proven way to build good habits and break ones. And that's exactly what this does. Like, this book actually gives you tangible ways to create new habits, and it does it in a way that's like not overwhelming. So the author not only gives you examples of how these methods could be integrated into your life, but he gives alternatives. So it's not just this one way is going to work for you to build this habit. It's here's one way that you could build this habit depending on the type of habit that you're forming, right? Because motivating yourself and creating a habit to work out every day might be a different habit than drinking enough water a day, or making sure that you're cleaning up behind yourself every day. You know, there's like kind of different types of habits. A lot of the ways that the author talks about building habits in this book is building them off of things that you already do and habits that you already do. Overall, I'd recommend it. I'm not going to sit here, I don't want to sit here and talk too long about every single method that the author talked about, because I'm not a habit expert at all. And so for me, it did motivate me. I did get that feeling of, oh, I'm motivated to do this, this, and that, but I feel like I have the tools to actually do it. But I decided to start small because I haven't really sat down and decided like big habits that I want to change. And I want to just get myself into believing that I can create a new habit. So, long explanation to why you saw me pour water. So I decided to try a habit, and it's just to drink more water. And one of the suggestions in the book is to make your habit really visible, something that you can't miss. And so for drinking water, I put it in a nice cute little, container. I put it right on the end of my island, right behind my desk at work. I work from home, so I put it right behind my desk. So anytime I get up, I turn around, I go to the bathroom, I get something out of the kitchen. I even just like get up to come sit on the couch. That little container, whatever you want to call it, is just staring at me. So I'm hoping that if it stares at me long enough, I'll drink a whole thing in a day, and I'll be a hydrated queen. I'm also realizing that my dark circles are horrible because it's the end of the day. It's the end of the week. It's a Friday and I had a rough week, and I look like I had a rough week. But since I'm done with that, the ending of that book actually I think is a good segue into my next book that I want to read. So the last couple chapters of Atomic Habits kind of discussed like the type of person you are and how that plays into your habits and just like learning new things in general, and how like if you know your strengths, it's kind of easier to play off of those strengths to build habits in the workplace, or if you're trying to accomplish like a major goal or whatever. So I decided to pick up StrengthsFinder 2.0 by Tom Rath. So I was actually gifted this book by my sister. I know it's going to sound real corny, but I really do look up to my sister, especially when it comes to how she approaches problems and her work ethic. And she gifted me this book, and she kind of just left a note saying that it really helped her find her strengths, and she was able to apply those to multiple aspects of her life. But like I mentioned, and as you see on my face, oh my God, my dark circles are so bad. I had a long week, just like at work in general and stuff. So I'm like, am I really in the mood to continue to better myself right now? And the answer is really no. I'll come back to you when you have an update, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably taking a nap first. Good morning, people. So I know what you're thinking. Oh, good morning. It's the next day. No, I just completely vegged out yesterday. Apparently my body just really needed a lot of sleep, so that's what it got. But while I was vegging out, I did actually read StrengthsFinders 2.0. So I will say that I'm gonna move this way while I'm putting some concealer on. So I will say that this isn't like a book, if that makes sense. You're really buying the book for the access code in the back, and the access code in the back allows you to take the Strength Finders test, and that's where you really get the bulk of the information is the test. But the only way you can get an access code to the test is through buying the book. So yeah, so I took the test. It's a 30-minute test, or about 30 minutes. It asks a series of questions, and it has one of those scales where it's like most likely to, least likely to, but there's two different statements on each side, and you just have to pick which one you're more like inclined to. And to make sure that you're not thinking about it too hard, they actually put a timer on it, so you only have 20 seconds to answer. So you're really kind of just going off of like your gut. And there was one time where I was like, well, let me see if this actually works like that, and it literally paused the test. Okay, so then I got my results, and then you're supposed to use your results to look at the like the sections in this book that correspond. So for example, one of my top 5 was adaptability, and so there is like a section in here, I don't know if you can see that, that's like adaptability. So information that's in here that's not in the reports that you get at the end of the test. Just include some examples of people who have the same strength and how it's applied to them in like their jobs. And then it also has ideas for action. So it just gives you 10 ideas of like how you can apply it to your real life. But I'll say that some of these are kind of vague. Like for example, for adaptability, ideas for action. Cultivate your reputation as a calm and reassuring person when others become upset by daily events. And it's like, okay, cool. Like I can do that. It doesn't really give any like tangible steps, I guess, in how you apply your strengths to your everyday. But I guess like trying to be devil's advocate, hate that term, but using it anyway, is like it's already your strength, so you should kind of already know how to apply it and how to just use it, because it's something that you're already kind of used to doing, opposed to like if it was a weakness, then maybe you would need more steps to figure out like how to become better at something. I get why there isn't steps, but I think there still should just be more action items, I guess. All right, we're gonna keep it at a just at a concealer day today. I'm not really going out anywhere. I just need to run a lot of errands, and I need to be productive today since I didn't do like anything at all yesterday. And I could, you know, just like wear sweatpants, but I've learned that if I actually get up and get dressed, I just feel better about the day, and it makes me not just want to automatically sit back on the couch. Overall with Strength Finders, I think that the strengths that it called out for me are actually really accurate. Like a couple of things that it called out for me, I actually like on my work reviews and stuff are things that like I've kind of recognized about myself that I think are strengths, like adaptability, for example. Another one of my strengths was empathy, and I see how I apply that in like my everyday life with like my friends, and like at work too. So I think it was great. I think I also learned about some of the strengths that I didn't necessarily know were strengths. So I'll actually tell you my top 5. Hold on. Okay, so it says my top 5 were adaptability, empathy, individualization, input, and arranger. So individualization is just meaning that like I do a good job of finding positive like individual characteristics about people. You know, I really take the time to find things about individual people that like make them succeed and just like really motivate them. And then what was input? Oh, input, which actually kind of directly correlates to this booktube channel, is that I like to collect information. So, or I like to collect things in general. So it just says like I like to read a lot. I like to gather the information. Whether I use it and I apply it to something is a whole different story. But I really like to just have that information kind of just like in my back pocket, which is 1000% true. And then the other one was arranger. I'm trying to remember what that one was. Arranger. Okay, it says you're a conductor. And so when faced with a complex situation involving many factors, you enjoy managing all the variables. I think all of those together, like, they all make sense to me when I think about my job duties, and when I think about when I'm doing things that I feel like I'm really contributing to, like, my team and stuff. It has a lot to do with those 5 strengths. So I guess overall I would like rate the overall effectiveness of what I got, and overall what word am I looking for, I guess the overall benefit of the book, I would say it's probably a 3.5, 4. You know, like, I mean, I think it's reassuring for me to know my strengths and have them spelled out in a certain way like that. And I feel like for a lot of people who maybe don't know their strengths or focus on their weaknesses a lot, it could be a helpful read. I think I'm gonna read You Are a Badass next. This book is one of those nonfiction books that gets peddled around so much, and I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the one that I'm most skeptical about, just because, like, it has popularity, but is it worth it? You know, is it worth it? I'm gonna start listening to it on audio. Right now I'm gonna go take Miss Fiona, can you guys see her? Miss Fifi, for a walk. And I don't think I've actually mentioned this to you guys because I keep showing her in clips, but like, I'm actually fostering a dog right now, so she's not like actually like my dog. I'm just trying to find a home for her. She is the sweetest dog ever. I've been fostering her for about, oh, it's been a while now, about 3 months. She's had some interest, but the couple people that have put in applications, we met them and it just wasn't a good fit. Their dogs didn't really like Fiona that much, even though she is the sweetest pup ever. So if you live in the DFW area and you're interested in a dog, please let me know. Even if it's not Fiona, I'm part of like the Dallas Foster Network. And the great thing about fosters is that people already have a lot of notes on them, so you can really look for a specific type of dog. So even if it's not Fiona, but like, look at that face. How can it not be? Let me know and I can try to put you in contact with a dog that might work for you. We're gonna take Fifi on a walk. We are gonna go get some coffee, and then we're gonna really start our day. Okay, so I went to Barnes & Noble and Half Price Books, and I ended up getting 4 books. I got You Are a Badass, which is what I'm currently listening to on audio. I just wanted to have it physically. Who knows if I'm still even going to like it, but I did just want to pick it up in the physical form. Then I also got the Apollo Murders by Chris Hadfield, and all I really know about this book is that it's like set in space. It's like a sci-fi mixed with like mystery thriller, so kind of think of like The Martian, but a murder mystery. And then the last book I got from Half Price was Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. So I've just heard so many good things about this book, and I know that it's also like a Netflix show, and so I haven't watched or read Behind Her Eyes, so I figured might as well just pick it up, and it's been on my list for a while and everybody really raves about it, and it was only $8, so decided to get that. The only book that I got from Barnes & Noble, it wasn't even on the Half Price books list. Like, I saw some stuff there, but it was nothing that I would really want to read that was on the Half Price. Like, what sale they really need to bring back is the one where it's like half off all hardbacks. That's the sale they need to bring back. But I just got Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I really enjoyed Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I have Recursion, but I haven't read it yet. And so this is going to be for like a video idea I have coming up. So I just figured I'd pay full price for it, which is really rare for me to pay full price for a book, but here we are. Okay, so I'm clearly in a good mood, feeling productive, but I am 40% of the way into You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. You know, I think the author really got me right at the beginning because, as you guys know, I've been skeptical about this book. And she kind of starts out with, in the past, she's also thought that self-help books were kind of like bullshit. And that she understands, like, going into this, if like the reader thinks this is also bullshit, but just to, you know, kind of hang in there with her. And this whole book is really focusing more on like a mindset shift rather than like actual like practical things that you can do. And it's really switching your mindset around like you being able to live the life that you want to live and being able to fulfill your dreams. You know, and the author discusses a lot how sometimes we can get inundated with like the mundane in our lives and just think like, okay, I'm working my regular 9-to-5 job and this is, you know, kind of my destiny. And these wonderful, magnificent lives that I see people living, you know, that's never going to happen for me because that's just, I don't have the resources, or, you know, that's just not feasible for me. And she kind of just discusses like how a mindset shift can really change all of that. She does preface at one point how some of the things that she discusses and talks about and references do tie back to like a spiritual sense or spirituality. And I feel like I'm not saying that word right, but you know what I'm trying to say. But it's not like religious, if that makes any sense. So it's just kind of saying how like energy is a thing, and the energy that you put out into the universe does like directly affect your life and how you view things and, you know, what kind of comes to you. But I'm just glad that my work day is over for the most part. I'm going to go get my nails done because they're growing out. I previously did like the little Hailey Bieber manicure. So I think going in, I'm definitely going to change my shape back to a stiletto. I just think my fingers look better when like this comes to a point. But you guys don't care. But so I said that really because I'm going to be listening to the audiobook while I'm at the nail salon. I usually get like an hour and a half of reading done then. So I'll give you guys an update when I have another one. Okie dokie. I have officially finished You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. It's funny because I bought this physical book and this is the first time I'm cracking it open because I listened to it on audio. So to be honest, I don't really have that much more to say than what I said in like the previous clip. You know, this book is more about like changing your mindset, and, you know, she mentions, you know, using affirmations a lot and, you know, making sure that you're putting the right energy out into the universe, which I appreciate. I think that mindset is a big part of like wanting to change your life and like your lifestyle, and just, you know, really thinking that you deserve the life that you want. And I do think that that's like a powerful thought to have. You know, granted, you can throw out all the affirmations you want, you can throw out all the energy that you want, but there does need to be some action behind it. And so I will say that that is like the fault of this book, is that she gives you ways to tangibly put things into action, but if you're looking for something that gives you step-by-step instructions on like how to change your life and like the tangible small things you can do for that, this isn't the book for you. But if you need, you know, just like that mind shift change, then yeah, I would say go for it. So overall, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. I just feel like she kind of said the same thing just in different ways, and just based on what I needed at the moment, it was helpful, but not as helpful as the other 2 books that I read. All right, and so I'm gonna give like an overview. Ooh, it looks like I'm about to tell a ghost story. Ooh. Okay, and before I give like a complete update on all the books that I read, I just want to give everybody an update on my water journey, trying to build the habit of drinking water. I filled this up already today. So I filled it up in the morning and then I drank it all and I filled it up again. Go me. And I'm already down to here and it's only 7 p.m. So I still have some time to finish the rest of that water. And I mean, it's a small thing, right? But it's a big thing to me because hydrated girls are hot girls, right? Or whatever Megan Thee Stallion said. And it is rainy outside, so literally like wherever I go in my apartment, the lighting is kind of trash. So let's wrap it up. As a recap, I read these 3 nonfiction books. I read Atomic Habits by James Clear, Strength Finder by Tom Rath. Yep. And You Are a Badass. But overall, I would say if you are also someone who's just getting into self-help, or maybe you just don't even know where to start, I think this trio of books, like to read together, actually really works. Because I think Atomic Habits gives you those real tangible and practical ways to make an impact in your life. And I feel like the end of Atomic Habits kind of fed into Strength Finders, because at the end of Atomic Habits, they talked about how if you know your strengths, you can tie that into building habits and making sure that you're picking habits that, you know, tie into your strengths and that could be a benefit to you. And then You Are a Badass actually then circles back into Atomic Habits, because at the end of You Are a Badass, she talks about all of this mindset is great, but you have to put it into action. And one way to put it into action is by building good habits. So I think this trio of books is really great. And my camera battery is about to die, so 1 second. Okay, I'm back, probably at a slightly different angle. But if you're just looking for one book to start out with, I think I would say Atomic Habits or Strength Finders for sure. I think these are really the cream of the crop right here. Like if you're gonna read anything, I think these 2 are where you should start. And a thought that kind of crossed my mind with these 2 books in particular is that I feel like stuff like this should be like required reading for people like going into college, or people, you know, trying to start their adult life. I think if I had started building habits earlier in my life, I think, you know, I'd be reaping the benefits of those things now, whether it's money, relationships, drinking water, whatever. You know, I think those are really important skills to have. And another reason that I say that I wish that some of this stuff was like mandatory before going to college is because between this book and the Myers-Briggs like personality test, and for anybody who cares, I'm an ENFP, between that and this book, they both recommend certain careers for my personality type and for my strengths. And there's a couple careers that are overlapping between those 2. And one of them is journalism, and the other one is like anything essentially to do with like researching. I just think that's really interesting, because journalism, not like traditional writing journalism, isn't something I've considered. But when I was younger, I did consider doing some type of like investigative journalism, like behind the scenes of like crime shows and things like that. That's something that has always intrigued me. So it's just interesting that I think if I would have known that going into college, I would have picked a different major, and I would have picked a different career choice. And who's to say, I mean, I could still go back to school and, you know, do that now. I don't think I would. I think what I'm gonna do is just find ways to incorporate my strengths and like my personality type into my job, like my real 9-to-5 job, and in my hobby here, like on BookTube. I think there's ways for me to incorporate all that together. So to answer the whole question and the point of this video, are self-help books helpful? And with these 3, these 2 in particular, but yes, overall, I would say yes, they absolutely are helpful, just depending on where you're at in life, if you're wanting to make the change, and if it's something that you're interested in. Yes, these are helpful. So because I was so pleasantly surprised with the outcome of this video, I actually think I'm going to do a part 2, but I'm going to specifically focus on like money management and money saving self-help books. But let me know if that just seems absolutely boring to you and you don't want to see that. Let me know down below in the comments, or let me know if there's like another topic of self-help that you want me to try out for you, so you can save your time and I can just tell you which ones to read and which ones not to read. Let me know. Also, let me know if you've read any of the self-help books that I mentioned in this one and what you thought of them. And as always, if you made it to the end of this video, you are my absolute favorite, my little tater tot, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.